Never meant to cause you any sorrow. Never meant to cause you any pain. Only wanted one time to see you laughing. I only wanna see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you bathing in that purple rain. Never wanna be your weekend lover. Only wanna be some kind of friend. And baby, I could never steal you from another. It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you underneath that purple rain. Honey, I know the times are changing. It's time we all reach out for something new. You say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind. You better make it close ahead. And let me guide you to the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you underneath that purple rain.
Hello and welcome to Quantum Week. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And this is Quantum Week, where we always talk about different random weeks in our life and talk about the movies, music, and headlines that make those weeks interesting. We have a big show. We're doing Prince all show. Basically, song, music, everything.
Yeah, purple rain, purple rain.
And we have a big week planned as well. Do we want to get into that? I also should introduce, too, I don't know if you guys know this, but this is... we're going to have Kirk Minahan on Wednesday on the podcast. And Kirk Minahan has the funniest podcast around. It's on Barstool Sports, if you guys haven't seen it.
We're actually on the Kirk Minahan Show YouTube channel right now, featuring, it's owned by Kirk Minahan.
So people probably know.
That, right? Okay, yeah.
I want to clear that up. Yeah, so we have Kirk on Wednesday, and we're talking Karate Kid and Hall & Oates.
Which he knows a shit ton about, so it's a lot of fun to listen to.
No.
He knows a crazy amount of pop culture, particularly in the 80s.
The 80s pop culture stuff was mind-blowing.
Yeah. He's really great about that.
And then on Saturday, we're covering... I don't remember right now.
Oh, Terminator.
Yes.
The Terminator, actually, the first one.
The Terminator.
And I don't know, some song. A Billy Ocean song.
Billy Ocean.
Yeah. That's right.
But today we are talking all things Prince. And should we start with the movie?
Right. Double feature, Prince the movie, Purple Rain the movie, Purple Rain the album.
Let's talk the movie first. I know we're going to talk about the music in a bit. This movie is terrible.
Horrid.
So bad.
And I remembered that it was bad. And I think it really clouded how I felt about the album, because the movie is so bad. But then when I re-listened to the album, I feel much better about it. But the movie still sucks. It's as bad as I remember.
So if you took, this is unfair, but if you took the music out of this movie,
yep,
which is like taking the action sequences out of an act. I get that. But if you take the music out of this movie, it might be the worst thing I've ever seen.
It'd be The Room. It would be horrible.
Yeah, it's that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's blatantly things that it does not age well. These
No.
two guys throw a woman into a dumpster at one point.
Oh, yeah, right. Then that's not where the violence ends either with men
Prince
against women.
Beats up.
His dad beats up his mom.
Right.
Prince beats up
Which I
Apollonia.
kind of understand. Maybe they're showing the psycho abuse.
Yeah, you got to see that.
But
right.
it's not done in like the best way. Maybe I don't know. It just felt kind of exploitive and kind of nasty at times.
Did they? So it's Morris Day and his like bodyguard throw this chick into a dumpster. Did they? Were they trying to make that funny? Like,
yes.
The movie was trying to make it. The director was trying to make it funny.
I think so because the reason I think it was supposed to be funny is because she does pop out at the
and
end.
she kind of goes like, "Hey" or something.
That tells me they were playing it for laughs.
It was
which
violent.
Is
and ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Prince treats Apollonia like shit.
Yeah, he lies
like he has
to
her
her.
jump naked into a river.
Yeah.
She tries to, and then he pretends to get away. That would be like really shitty to do. And then,
really shitty.
And then she tries to get on his motorcycle and he pretends to like drive. And it's not flirty, it's mean.
That's the thing is he's trying to be sort of mysterious and mischievous and flirty, but it just comes off as gross, particularly when you see him be so violent. In fact, it was hard to separate I had to really think this is not the Prince I know. Because I couldn't identify with him.
The kid.
I know, right.
The kid, which is so stupid.
But it was gross. Yeah.
If you haven't seen the movie, his name, the entire film is The Kid. And then he actually did a sequel to this movie called Graffiti Bridge.
Yeah.
Where he also, once again, plays the kid. So here's the thing I have with this movie. I don't understand. So I went to a deep dive last night. I was reading all these reviews of this movie. I think this movie's really terrible.
It's bad.
The music sequences are great. But the movie itself is terrible.
Yeah, in fact, if I wish it were only the music sequence, I could watch the live footage all day and it'd be great.
So this movie was very mixed reviews, but I tried to read the negative stuff as much as I could and the positive. The negative really didn't go that hard on it. I'm like, really? But then he did a movie called Graffiti Bridge and another movie. I'm forgetting the name of it right now. I'm sorry.
Graffiti was the last one.
I think
he did a few in
He did a movie called Sign of the Times, which was just a concert movie. That's different.
Right.
But he did two other, it was Cherry Moon, Under the Cherry Moon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And these two movies were roasted. Critics hated them. They got tons of Razzies. Really, really, really bad. But can they be much worse than this? This is horrible.
This is horrible. And this is the only film that he was ever in that he didn't direct too. Did you know that? He directed Graffiti Bridge and he directed the other films.
Kind of. There's some issues with those two things.
Really?
Right. So Mary Lambert for Under the Cherry Moon. Mary Lambert directed Pet Sematary. She started filming on Under the Cherry Moon, and she got fired from Prince.
And
there's also some rumors Prince directed this too, or had a lot.
Well, it was his managers were the producers of this film.
Right.
They definitely, the writer, I can't remember, I think it was the director, Magnoli, and some other guy wrote it.
Magnoli, I had to look up. I never even heard of him. He
Tango and Cash, my friend.
Right. Well, no, kind of. His name is on it. He didn't really direct it.
He didn't direct that?
So how it worked was, I forget who it was now. Director started doing it. Then the director got fired because Kurt Russell and especially Stallone was really flexing his muscles.
Yeah.
And then Magnoli, another guy, came in, did the basically the second half of shooting, but he didn't even do post. Another director came and did post production.
So why is he credited as director?
They have to do union things and how it all works.
All right. Yeah.
But so Magnoli really is not a big director, by any sort of stretch.
Yeah.
The cinematographer is a guy named Donald Thorne, who does have some credentials, and it is shot well.
You think so?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if they were trying to make a horror film. That's what it looked like in some of the scenes.
It's not shot consistently, but I like the images. The still shots are great.
Are they?
I thought.
Oh, well,
it looks good. It's very picturesque.
I was just creeped out a lot.
The script is the worst thing I've ever. The script is like
dialogue is bullshit.
Unbelievably
script
bad.
is terrible.
And so I looked these guys up. And I never heard of them. It was Magnoli again, this Magnoli guy.
Yeah.
And then a guy named William Blinn, who had done a lot of TV. He's an older guy. He had done Gunsmoke.
Oh yeah.
He had done
he was in his 50s by the time this came out. I saw that.
It was
he was an older
weird,
guy, which is weird because Prince is like 24 or 25 in this
film. And the whole
film.
movie has a younger vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Really strange. I had never seen this before. I really like Prince's music. I just said I'd never seen this movie.
You'd never seen this movie?
No.
This was your first watch?
Well, first full. I had seen like bits and pieces on VH1.
Yeah, right.
But obviously they're not really showing you full thing. And but I really had never sat down and watched it. I was like, this is so bad.
It was terrible.
I was shocked at how bad it was. Like, how is this not roasted all the time? I mean, I get you, but this could be fun to kind of hate watch, like Showgirls, Starship Troopers. It could be a fun movie to kind of like, if we do like a rewatch of like Blind Mike,
Right.
like that would be I think it would be a fun movie to shit on to some extent. Maybe not because the music is so good.
Well, but the violence scenes kind of make it, you don't even want to really, like, you can't make fun of it because
You're right,
it's just
I guess.
gross.
Maybe
You know, it would just feel weird.
This movie's just bad. So I did read one review that made it was interesting. He's like, you have to forget this is a movie.
Yeah.
And just tell yourself it's a long music video. And if you do that, it actually maybe isn't as terrible.
It works. It's really long though for it's a 100 whatever, an hour and 50 minutes.
So the Prince backers, and we'll cap the movie. I know you got a lot of song stuff. Yeah. The Prince backers will say that this won an Oscar.
Oh, it's true.
But here's the thing: it's an Oscar that isn't given out anymore.
That's right. Too. So I think it was the last one. Time
there were 3 Oscars. You had one for the score, which typically is orchestrated music.
Yeah.
Then you had one for the soundtrack, which typically is original songs.
Like a pop music.
Original song rather. So like Celine Dion won for Titanic.
Right.
So, that was the song. It was an original song made for that movie.
My Heart Will Go On or something.
Right. You're right. So you had score and you had original song. This was like basically a combo of the two where someone does all of the songs for a movie. And there were only 3 nominees that year. One was Chris Christopherson, one was the Muppets, and then one was this. I got to imagine it might be the only 3 that did it because how often do you see a singer do an entire soundtrack for
You never. It's hardly ever like that. 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor but that's more modern. Like that's been happening in the last maybe 10 years.
Right.
He might have done Social Network.
But that's a score though.
It is a score. Yeah,
that's not all songs.
You're right.
But they're not like songs with vocals.
You're right. Yeah.
The only other time the only time I ever remember buying one was Prince, but for Batman. He did the entire soundtrack. Right. So Batman had a score by Danny Elfman and it had a soundtrack by Prince.
Right.
So under these archaic rules, that soundtrack by Prince would have been qualified for this Oscar that doesn't exist anymore. But whenever people say, hey, Purple Rain won an Oscar, it's like, well, kind of. It's an award that's very hard to get.
Yeah.
Hard to even qualify for. And, it's not even given out anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of glad they got it because this is a legit, I forgot how good the music is in this film.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, just so it's beyond Purple Rain, the album. That album is 9 songs. There's other songs because you got More to Stay and you got other people throughout it. But if you just take the album, the 9 songs that Prince did, there are like 6 or 7 legitimately awesome songs that did chart or could chart. Like really good stuff. So I'm kind of glad that he got recognized for that because a Grammy would have been better.
It was so hard it was so odd watching this because like I'll be watching this horrible scene. I'm really disgusted. I probably have a look on my face. And the next thing I know,
weird sex scene.
Well, it's Prince.
Fuck.
So like I'm like really disgusted with this film. And the next thing I know, I'm like tapping my toe because the song's really good. And I'm like, I'm really into it. I'm like, I'm like Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know how to feel about this.
That's the thing. It's like I could never, if it were just a regular movie and not Prince, not someone who I love, I would never forget. He would have been completely the bad guy in the film. I would have never forgiven him for any of the things that he did. He was a dick to his band. He was shitty to Apollonia. He was just a fucking spoiled brat the entire time, if not for the music.
Yeah, this movie's not good. If you haven't seen it, it is free on Netflix. If you are like a huge Prince, if you want to like check it out, it is free. But I can't recommend this movie. It's pretty bad.
But Morris Day and the Time is amazing. I mean, they're not amazing actors, but as a fucking band, they're fucking awesome. They're very talented for sure. Yeah, I don't think this does them justice. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But you go Prince, and you have some Prince stuff you want to talk about.
Yeah. So I guess let's move on to one more thing about this is the movie made money. Like it was like 7 million.
And that's why they kept giving them the car keys. Yeah. So it made basically 10 times its pre-marketing budget. This movie was marketed pretty heavily, I believe. But
still, yeah.
And you think about it, Warner Brothers also made money. Warner Brothers owned the movie and the soundtrack. And the soundtrack made more than the fucking movie.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But that's why they kept giving him the car keys. So they let him direct these movies that they knew were going to be terrible. The scripts are bad. Everyone knows that. But they didn't care because they were getting an album on the back end of it.
Right.
And they're like, oh, that's good enough. Which is an interesting way to make a movie and probably not a bad idea. No. Especially back then. I mean, nobody buys music anymore. It's all streaming. But back then, album sales were huge, especially for someone like Prince. This also made me think too, I kind of give Bruce Springsteen a little credit here. So Prince, Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, probably the 3 biggest stars in 1984, 85, Madonna a little bit later. Michael Jackson. Right.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
And
top tier.
3 of those 4 were in movies. Michael Jackson, or did Captain EON's shit like this, whatever, Neo, the fuck his name is. And he did The Wiz, which isn't a bad movie, but I actually like it more than most. But then you have Madonna she tried to act up until this this century.
Oh yeah, she did Desperately Seeking Susan.
Right.
She did. Yeah, she did some
all
other...
these movies. She kept trying to make it work.
Yeah.
And then, Prince is trying to make it work. He spends half this movie just staring at the camera oddly, which is bizarre.
He is a bizarre dude.
But Springsteen never tried it.
No, I guess he didn't.
And I think it's good.
Yeah.
I guess Stephen King wanted him. Did you read The Stand?
Oh yeah, I love The Stand.
Yeah, he wanted him for Larry Underwood.
In the TV movie that they did?
I think
can't remember.
they kept talking about making a feature or whatever they were going to do with it. Not the one they made with Molly Ringwald, but way before that, say the 80s.
Right.
He wanted to have Springsteen in that role ideally. Film obviously never got made, but I don't know if Springsteen would have even done it. This is
it's a cool concept. Yeah.
But I think Springsteen, I think it kind of adds to your mystique. The second you start doing these shitty movies, it just puts a taint on you.
The hard part is Prince is so good at so many things. I can understand why he would want control. Like he directed his own videos, played all his instruments, has an amazing voice, which we'll talk about a little bit more too. But I can see why he's just like, I can fucking do anything. I can direct a movie. I can star in this movie. I can write the fucking script. I can see why he would think that. He was wrong. He made money on the movie, but
and this one, but the other ones didn't.
Yeah.
Although, I guess if you add it all up, in theory, he made money. Plus, like I said, Graffiti Bridge. It's hard to even say it's a loss. It cost $10 million to make. Let's say it makes $4 million. You lose $6 million, but now you have a whole album on top of it that you wouldn't have got. So,
okay, so let's get to this album. So, Purple Rain sold 25 million copies.
Okay,
I mean it's not the biggest we've seen. Someone did 30. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe
but it was that makes it diamond, though, right?
Oh yeah, no, yes, yeah, 10 million and over is diamond. So it's double and a half.
I saw one thing at one point. I don't know if that's still the case anymore. Only 63 albums had ever made it to diamond, and they ranked them. Some like Pitchfork or someone like that, a critique site,
right?
And it ranked. It said this was the best of the 63. This is the best, most impressive diamond one ever. It's got to, it's got to be in that argument at least. I don't know what the other ones are, but this album is so incredible and so popular. How often is popularity and talent?
It's very rare that they both come together.
That's why this year works so well.
Special. You're right, because it's happened.
It's the rare time when you had talent and a big budget hit and it works. It's not trash.
So this album's got Let's Go Crazy, Take Me With You, When Doves Cry, I Would Die For You, Baby I'm a Star, and Purple Rain. Those are all legit, like fucking awesome songs. They really are.
4 top 10 hits off this album.
Yeah.
3 hits that were 2, like a number 1 or number 2 hit.
Yeah, When Doves Cry never hit number 1 because of Wake Me Up Before You Go by
by
Wham, but it was number 2 for a few weeks.
Let's Go Crazy made it.
Let's Go Crazy did, and Purple. I think
Purple Rain never made it. I thought the other one made it. I think When Doves Cry did make it.
Maybe it was I Would Die For You did?
Purple Rain didn't make it.
No, I don't remember. Because they're all, there's too many of them. There's too many fucking hits. Yes. And even the other songs, like Computer Blues, The Beautiful Ones is you should listen to this album if you're not very familiar with it, because The Beautiful Ones is this very strange song, but it's really well written, has interesting chord. They're all good. Even Darling Nikki, like sort of the she-bop.
I like that song.
It's a good song. Yeah. And he performs it super
And do you know
well.
the background behind that song?
I don't.
So,
I didn't get the reference of Darling Nikki instead of singing to Apollonia.
No, but you know like what happened with that song? The scandal? So
no.
Tipper Gore's daughter, Karina, was singing the lyrics to Darling Nikki like in her like living room.
Yeah.
And Tipper freaked out. The mom, Tipper Gore, freaked out. And that's why we have those labels on the album, explicit lyrics.
That's why you don't give people power, because then they'll start to censor shit on us.
But the funny thing is, this album does not have that label on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because it was pre. Is that why?
No. Even in post, it doesn't have it on it. There's no swears in this album.
I thought he said fuck a couple times. Maybe he just did it in the movie.
But he doesn't in the album. So the album does not have the sticker that the sticker created.
Yeah, that's funny.
Or the album created, yes.
So the title song, Purple Rain, is not my favorite on this album. In fact, I think it gets a lot more credit. Do you like Purple Rain, the song?
I don't love I like it. No, I know.
I think it's all right.
It's a great song.
You think
compared to his other, it falls like I think Prince is amazing. So I think Prince is
he's
fantastic.
One of my favorites. Yeah,
it didn't make my top 5.
No, it wouldn't even make my top. I don't even think it makes my top 20. I just think that the song, it's very repetitive. It doesn't go anywhere. You heard me play it, but it doesn't really go anywhere. It does feature. He sort of elevates throughout it, like his voice does. And he gets more animated and kind of shrieks and stuff. But it does. It's not enough.
It's so long.
It's very long too. Yeah. Then they do the guitar.
Like almost 8 minutes.
Over and over and over. They just sort of vamp on that kind of guitar line. It's not, it doesn't really go anywhere. So I was never really impressed with it. I love the other songs. I love a lot more on this album, but it was originally written as a country tune. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
He sent it to Stevie Nicks and was like, here's like, and I think it was like 8 minutes too. It was 8 minutes of those chord changes, and sent it to her. And she said, it's too much. I can't I can't think of what to put on here, and she kind of denied it. But then he sort of repurposed it for the movie. Oh, that was kind of funny, like fucking country rain or whatever. But it does show that Prince is very good at taking something that's very standard, very simple music structure, and making something at least provocative enough out of it. A lot more people would say that they really like the song than I do, so I can definitely recognize that, at least for a lot of people, it's a good song. So he's really a master of that, and we'll talk about that more as we go through our top 5.
Sure.
And maybe we're kind of at that point where we should probably. I wanted to tell a quick story about sort of why.
Tell a story. We're going to do top 5.
Yeah. So I'll tell it quick. But Prince has a very special place in my heart because I was in I have to get there, but I was in California and from end of 2007 through 2011, and I met my wife Barbara out there. She was on vacation for 6 months, and we were playing at the same venue. I might have told you this story. We were playing at the same venue, and I was hitting on another woman. But she walked in, she sat down with us, and we were talking. The other
you
woman
didn't know
left
Barbara
away.
yet.
I didn't know Barbara yet. No.
Right.
But Barbara and I, we were across a table from each other. But we couldn't hear each other, so she went and she sat down right next to me, and I instantly got vibe. I was like, oh my God. And then I looked at her and I was like, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever fucking seen. So I said, hey, we should hang out. And she said, sure. Gave me your number. And then we were inseparable for the next 3 months. But since she's Brazilian native, she could only be in the country for 6 months at a time. So she had to leave. So there was this question on whether or not she would come back. Like we were 3 months into this relationship, but we lived 9,000 miles apart. Like, how are we going to make this work? And I was scared about it, but she was brave, and we ended up bringing her back. So she came back. I think she left in like January or something. She came back in March. And the good thing is when she was away, we were Skyping every night. So that's how we really got to know each other. But I was getting more and more apprehensive as the date was coming, back.
How
like, how's
long
this
was
going
she
to work?
gone for? How long?
2 months.
So she was in America for 3 months. She
was in America for 6 months, but we met 3 months in. Then she goes home for 2 months.
For 2 months, and that's when you're Skyping with her.
Yeah, which is good. We got to know each other that way, but I'm still apprehensive. And I was moving back to New Hampshire at the time. She was going to road trip back with me, and it's like, okay, what's our life going to be like? Eventually, it's kind of, I knew that for her to stay, we'd have to get married. So that's like looming on my mind. Do I even want to start this process?
Sure.
So I was getting kind of freaked out about it. But as soon as she flew back in that day and I saw her, I was like, thank God she came back. Nice. And that night we went and saw Prince.
Oh, very cool.
So Prince is always like, because it's the night that my wife came back to me. Yeah, and we've been together for 10 years, since. And
was that a great show? Beyond,
it was awesome. Yeah. I mean, he was just phenomenal. Yeah. He'd announced the tour, the shows. It was at Oakland Coliseum. I've said, we talk about this too. I saw Van Halen there like a couple months, I think, before. He announced it just like a few weeks before.
Did the whole 1984.
I did in the same like few months. But he announced it like a few weeks before, and it sold out the Oakland Coliseum like for 2 nights in a row, like really fast.
Yeah,
because he wasn't really touring much, and he just came out to Oakland. I was like, wow, fuck, I'm definitely.
Is that the only time you saw him? I've never seen.
Only time I've seen it, and I had to because I have a bunch of friends who've seen him, and like he is one of the most talented. His shows are phenomenal because they're super tight. He's just such a great musician, and he only has great musicians playing with him. So it's just going to be a phenomenal. And it was. He's great. So top 5?
Let's do it.
Do you want to go first?
Sure.
You want to do your 5?
Yeah. We're going to go
let's go 5 through 5 to 1.
So I'm going to give my number 5 then.
Yeah, and then I'll give mine.
All right. So my number 5 is a song that's not incredibly loved by most, but it just means a lot to me, and it's Bat Dance. And I love the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie. Like I grew up. It came out literally the day I turned 10.
Yeah.
Or not the day I turned. It came out when I was 9.5. Like that time. Yeah. Okay. So I actually got the VHS the day I turned 10. But I watched it like a lot. I love it. I love Batman. Like I'm a huge Batman fan. And then I really love Jack Nicholson. I really love Michael Keaton. So it was like almost like these worlds were colliding for me. Plus I love Pee-wee's Big Adventure at the time. So Tim Burton's directing it.
Yeah.
Like it was like just like for me when I was 9 or 10, it was like this perfect pop culture moment for me where everything collided. And I loved Batman for a long time, and he was never really been popular. And I felt like it was so cool that something I loved finally became really popular. And it was like, because you had the 1960s stuff and to have it, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot more about Batman because we're going to run into these movies eventually. Absolutely. We just haven't run into many superhero movies.
No,
any at all.
Not at all.
But I just love Batman, and this album came out, and Bat Dance the greatest. Probably anyone else's top 5? No,
it is not.
That's fine. I also
cool.
there's
it's
also
cool
a song
concept
on that album called Party Man. I think is really great. I I just really, so when I hear that album, it's a lot of nostalgia, but it means a lot to me. I just moved to New Hampshire. I was kind of like lonely, and I got to watch Batman, listen to this really cool album. It was just awesome. So, Bad Dance, my number
5. I Would Die for You is number 5 for me.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and if you listen to it, it's a one-note melody. I have something. Just a fucking one-note melody. No one does that. He is the king of doing really simple music, not like technically simple, but simple structure, and making it so awesome. He's like the most efficient musician when it comes to this shit. A one-note melody, and it's amazing. I love the song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
My number 4 is 1999.
That's a great one too.
Okay, yeah. So this song we should all really hate to this point, especially if you're our age or even a little younger. If you live for the millennium,
right.
You're like, oh my God, like this song was everywhere. It was constant. It was annoying, but it wasn't annoying because it was such a good song. So it was annoying. People always want to play it, but it was never annoying where you ever got sick of it because it's such a talented and great song by a talented guy. Just a fun song.
It's fun. It's a party song. It's really great. Yeah. Number 4 for me is Sexy Motherfucker.
Oh,
do you know that one? You sexy motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's off of his. This actually is one of my favorite Prince albums. It's the album where it's just the symbol on the front. It's the love symbol, and it's got 7 on it and Sexy Motherfucker. I love that album. It's dated. If you listen to it, it definitely sounds like early 90s, which it is, but the song construction is so great. He sort of spreads his wings more in that. It's not just like a straight up funk tune or a ballad. Like he's got some really complicated composition in there. I love that album. So Sexy Motherfucker.
I don't think it's bad, but I'm not as much of a fan of his post 1990 stuff as I am his 80s stuff. If someone had it on the background of a party, I would not be upset or be like, oh, that's cool. This album's cool. I probably haven't heard this album enough. I know between 94 and 96, especially with him, I was looking it up, and he was just churning out albums very quickly.
Yeah,
to get out of his contract.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a lot of. I'm not saying this particular song, but like that mid 90s is tough because he's just literally just like saying fuck it. He's just trying to get out of this contract. And
that's the only album I think would be in my favorites from that era. Song. Definitely. But that album's really good.
My number 3 song is Kiss.
Yeah.
Is that on yours?
Yeah.
Okay, we talk about it later. Okay. What's your number 3?
Number 3 for me is Little Red Corvette. And
my honorable mention one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It is such a great song. And there's an extended version of it where he does this really crazy vocal thing. Listen to this, and that is like a really good showcase of what he can fucking do with his voice.
And
he's crazy.
That's just him singing. He can play every instrument on top of it. He's unbelievable. Sick. I mean, you can make a case. I don't know if you disagree. The most talented
musician. Yeah. Yes.
Of the 80s. Ever.
Because me at my most critical, he is not a virtuoso on guitar, but he is an awesome guitar player. He's not top tier. He's not Stevie Ray Vaughan's better. Vi's better. There's a few that are better, but he is still a great guitar player. Really phenomenal guitar player. One of the best. And that with an awesome, he's in my top 5 fucking vocalists ever. Yeah. He's the amazing vocalist and can play drums and keyboards and all sorts. He's playing the keyboard solo. We talked about this last time on When Doves Cry. Just he's phenomenal. Probably the best musician. I would guess.
My number 2 is Raspberry Beret.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Brian's probably a bit more of a, popular. Maybe I'm the basic one.
No, mine are popular.
But I just think it's just a fun song you hear on the radio, especially if you like to me, like a really good summer day is like this. Have this song, have the windows rolled down. I can't wait for summer. I'm fucking tired of this.
I know.
Roll the windows down. You just drive around, blaring this song. Like that's like you can do a lot worse than like blaring Prince on a nice day and just hanging out. Like. I don't know. I think I'm also just want to get out of the fucking house. But yeah, I think that's just that to me is just a fun song. Like to me, Prince embodies like fun.
Absolutely.
Like it's not, but yet like it's really talented. There's some depth to it. But then there's also just fun energy. It's like the mix of both worlds. It's not too heavy. It's just fun.
Well, not only is the music fun, his performance is fun. You see him doing all the James Brown moves, or the bands, or there's choreography with the band. Like his show, the whole thing is fun and super talented.
But even if I was Blind Mike, who is the co-host or sidekick of this Kirk Minahan show, even if I couldn't see him, I would be blown away by just it's fun to hear.
Absolutely, yeah. So number 2 for me, it was last week's song. It's When Doves Cry. And speaking of guitar, so I just said he's not a virtuoso guitar player, but I love this fucking beginning riff so much. It's like, it's just such a sick
so
riff. It's so sick. I learned that, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago because I was like, I have to know how to play that thing. It's a sick riff.
Pretty great.
Yeah, it's
Let's
cool.
see. We already know your number one then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Kiss. Yeah,
Kiss,
absolutely.
Right. So let's start this.
Kiss is the epitome of efficient songwriting. It's a kick drum, a snare drum. There's a little bit of hat in there. There's that cool keyboard and his voice and like nothing else. And it is in the pocket. It is him expressing with his vocals and his falsetto all over the place. It's such a funky groove. It's an amazing song. I don't know if I could ever write a song as good as he has with as little instrumentation. It's perfect.
I will tell you, you can't.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not even a song.
No, it's not me.
He's incredible. No one can write a song like he's Prince.
There's something I don't know if there's anybody who listens to it.
I can't hit a fastball like Babe Ruth either. You know,
That's right.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know if there are any developers out there, but there's this thing called expensive code. Like when people develop, when they write computer code, they try to do it in the most efficient way possible because it's most elegant, most efficient. There are less things that can go wrong. He is it's the most elegant song that I've ever heard, I think. It's like so much with so little. And I mean, I got a little bit of it here too, so you can fucking listen to it, but it's just so funky, so good.
It's a great song.
Just sick. Not even, there's just a little bit of guitar and the turnaround, and then, I mean, that's it. There's like nothing here. It's crazy.
It's good.
Yeah.
My number one is the song that, I got married in January.
Yeah.
And when, they announced your bridal party, then you come out, and we came out to Let's Go Crazy.
That's right.
Which is a fantastic song. And it is like I said, I listen to Prince because he's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, nearly about music as Matt does, but I just enjoy it. If you are like, I don't know, having a rough time, whatever, and you put on Let's Go Crazy, you should feel better for 3 minutes. Like,
yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
a good song.
It is.
It's just fun. I mean, I know I'm not being very bright. No shit, Chris. Prince is a fun musician, but it's just like, it just puts me in a better spirit. And it's a song I've heard a million fucking times. I heard it. So that's what opens the movie. If you listen, if you watch Purple Rain, and the first 5 minutes of Purple Rain are awesome.
They're awesome
because it's playing this. It's really interesting shots. There's a cool part where Apollonia is in a cab and she skips on the fair, and then she sneaks into the club.
Right.
It's actually shot much like a music video, but it's shot really fun and really well. And this song's playing. I'm like, oh, this movie might be. And then obviously,
no, and then it gets to shit. But yeah,
unlike the movie, this song is great, but Prince's holds up too.
Absolutely. And this is in the same category as Kiss. It's a little bit different, but it's still an efficient way of songwriting. It's got a nice groove to it. It's a little bit faster, but it's like typical Prince doing a lot with a little. Like, I don't need to show you any more than what I'm showing you, and it's perfect. That's how he is.
That's great stuff. Are we good?
I think we're good. So we got
Kirk Minahan on Wednesday.
Yeah, so subscribe to the podcast, download that Mamma Jam, and fucking listen to it because he's great.
Karate Kid and Hall & Oates, and then on Saturday we have The Terminator,
and Billy Ocean, Caribbean Queen.
Yes. So
I think that's it.
Thanks, guys.
We're out.